This is a standard GK type of question you might have already seen. There are three boxes. One of them contains apples, one of them contains orange, and the last one has both apples and oranges. But all three of them are incorrectly labeled. So let us say these are their labels: apple, orange, apple, orange. Now if these are the labels and all are incorrectly labeled, then the contents of the first box can be either orange or apple, orange. For this one, the contents can be apple, apple, orange. The last one can have either apples or oranges. Now we basically need to determine the correct contents of all the three boxes in just one operation. And what is that operation? We can open just one box and pull out just one fruit blindly and inspect it. With this operation, you need to determine if it is possible to correctly determine the contents of all the three boxes, and if it is not, then you can go with the option D. Let us look at some of the choices which we have. Let us say you decide to open this particular box labeled as A, and let us say an orange comes out of it. Now you know for sure that this is labeled as apple, so it cannot contain just apples. It can contain either oranges or apple oranges for sure, which means this box is definitely going to have oranges, right? So whatever you pick out of it, you cannot for sure determine the contents correctly, because in this case also it is having orange and this case also it is having orange. So whatever you pick up, there is no definite answer you can give without opening one another box. So in just one go, you cannot determine the correct contents of all three if you decide to open either this box or this box, because again the same thing case will be with this box. If an apple comes out, then both these two cases are having apples, so there is no surprise if an apple comes out of this box labeled as orange. So again there is no meaning in opening this box. Now let us see if it is possible with the last one, otherwise we would go with option D. Now in this box, you know for sure that it cannot have both apples and oranges, right? It can have only apples or only oranges. So two cases, you pick up a fruit, it comes out apple. Now if it is coming out to be an apple, then you know for sure that this box is having apples. Now if this box is having apples, then what would be the content of the box A? Now it cannot have apples because that is already exhausted, so it will have apple, orange. Now that is exhausted, so this box labeled as A would be having oranges, so we could correctly determine. Let us look at the other case as well. Let us say an orange came out of this box. So in that case, we would say that this last box is having oranges. Now if this is having oranges, then they cannot be over here. So now this will be having apple, orange. And if that is the case, then this cannot have apple, orange, it will have apples. So whatever comes out of this box, we can correctly determine the contents of the other two boxes as well, if we decide to open the last box which was labeled as both apples and oranges. So we should open the last box labeled both apples and oranges, and then only we can in just one go correctly determine the contents of all the three boxes. So yes, it is possible, and we would go with option B.